Now with respect to the policy of opening up media to loved ones being brought back home. We are in the process of reviewing those policies in conversations with the Department of Defense. So I don't want to give you an answer now. Before I've evaluated that review and understand all the implications involved. With respect to Afghanistan, this is going to be a big challenge. I think, because of the extraordinary work done by our troops and some very good diplomatic work done by Ambassador Crocker in Iraq, we just saw an election in Iraq that went relatively peacefully. And you get a sense that the political system is now functioning in a meaningful way. You do not see that yet in Afghanistan. They've got elections coming up, but effectively the national government. Seems very detached from what's going on in the surrounding community. In addition, you've got the Taliban and Al-Qaeda operating in the Fatah and these border regions between Afghanistan and Pakistan. And what we haven't seen is the kind of concerted effort to root out those safe havens that would ultimately make our mission successful. So we are undergoing a thoroughgoing review. Not only is General Petraeus, now the head of CENTCOM, conducting his own review. He's now working in concert with the special envoy that I've sent over, Richard Holbrooke. One of our top diplomats to evaluate a regional approach. We are going to need more effective coordination of our military efforts with diplomatic efforts with development efforts with more effective coordination with our allies in order for us to be successful. The bottom line, though, and I just want to remember the American people, because this is going to be difficult. This is a situation in which a region served as the base to launch an attack that killed 3,000 Americans. And this past week I met with families of those who were lost in 9/11. A reminder of the costs of allowing those safe havens to exist. My bottom line is that we cannot allow Al-Qaeda to operate. We cannot have those safe havens in that region. And we're going to have to work both smartly and effectively. But with consistency, in order to make sure that those safe havens don't exist. I do not have yet a timetable for how long that's going to take. What I know is I'm not going to allow Al-Qaeda or bin Laden to operate with impunity, planning attacks on the US homeland. All right. The latest on President Obama, the new administration, and other news from Washington and around the nation. Helene Cooper. Where is Helene? Here you go. Question, thank you, sir. I wanted to ask you, on the next bank bailout, are you going to impose a requirement? That the financial institutions use this money to loosen up credit and make new lending? And if not, how do you make the case to the American people that this bailout will work when the last one didn't? Mr. Obama, again, Helene, and I'm trying to avoid preempting my Secretary of the Treasury. I want all of you to show up at his press conference as well. Laughter. He's going to be terrific. But this relates to Jake's earlier question. One of my bottom lines is whether or not credit is flowing to the people who need it. Is it flowing to banks? Excuse me. Is it flowing to businesses, large and small? Is it flowing to consumers? Are they able to operate in ways that translate into jobs and economic growth on Main Street? And the package that we put together is designed to help do that. And beyond that, I'm going to make sure that Tim gets his moment in the sun tomorrow, all right? Major Garrett. Where is Major? Question, Mr. President, at a speech Friday that many of us covered, Vice President Biden said the following. Thing about a conversation the two of you had in the Oval Office about a subject he didn't disclose. If we do everything right, if we do it with absolute certainty. If we stand up there and we really make the tough decisions, there's still a 30% chance we're going to get it wrong. Since the Vice President brought it up, can you tell the American people, sir, what you were talking about? And if not, can you at least reassure them it wasn't the stimulus bill or the bank rescue plan? And if in general you agree with that ratio of success, 30% failure, 70% success? Mr. Obama, laughs. You know, I don't remember exactly what Joe was referring to. Not surprisingly. Laughter. But let me try this out. I think what Joe may have been suggesting, although I wouldn't put numerical, I would ascribe any numerical percentage to any of this, is that given the magnitude of the challenges that we have, any single thing that we do is going to be part of the solution, not all of the solution. And as I said in my introductory remarks, not everything we do is going to work out exactly as we intended it to work out. This is an unprecedented problem. And you know, when you talk to economists, there's some general sense of how we're going to move forward. There's some strong consensus about the need for a recovery package of a certain magnitude. There's a strong consensus that you shouldn't put all your eggs in one basket. All tax cuts or all investment, but that there should be a range of approaches. But even if we do everything right on that, we've still got to deal with what we just talked about. The financial system and making sure that banks are lending again. We're still going to have to deal with housing. We're still going to have to make sure that we've got a regulatory structure, architecture for the financial system that prevents crises like this from occurring again. Those are all big, complicated tasks. So I don't know whether Joe was referring to that. But I use that as a launching point to make a general point about these issues. Mr. Obama, I have no idea. I really don't. Michael Fletcher, The Washington Post. Question, yeah, thank you, sir. What's your reaction to Alex Rodriguez's admission that he used steroids as a member of the Texas Rangers? Mr. Obama, yeah, I think it's depressing news on top of what's been a flurry of depressing items. When it comes to Major League Baseball. And if you're a fan of Major League Baseball, I think it tarnishes an entire era, to some degree. And it's unfortunate, because I think there are a lot of ball players who played it straight. The latest on President Obama, the new administration and other news from Washington and around the nation. And you know, the thing I'm probably most concerned about, the message that it sends to our kids. What I'm pleased about is, Major League Baseball seems to finally be taking this seriously. To recognize how big of a problem this is for the sport, and that our kids hopefully are watching and saying, you know what? There are no shortcuts, that when you try to take shortcuts, you may end up tarnishing your entire career, and that your integrity's not worth it. That's the message I hope is communicated. All right. Helen. This is my inaugural moment here. Laughter. I'm really excited. Question, Mr. President, do you think that Pakistan and are maintaining the safe havens in Afghanistan for these so-called terrorists? And also, do you know of any country in the Middle East that has nuclear weapons? Mr. Obama, well, I think that Pakistan, there is no doubt that in the FATA region of Pakistan. In the mountainous regions along the border of Afghanistan, that there are safe havens where terrorists are operating. And one of the goals of Ambassador Holbrooke as he is traveling throughout the region is to deliver a message to Pakistan that they are endangered as much as we are by the continuation of those operations. And that we've got to work in a regional fashion to root out those safe havens. There it's not acceptable for Pakistan or for us to have folks who with impunity, will kill innocent men, women, and children. And you know, I believe that the new government of Pakistan and NMR Zardari cares deeply about getting control of this situation. And we want to be effective partners with them on that issue. Question: did you get any promise from them? Mr. Obama, well, Mr. Holbrooke is there, and that's exactly why he's being sent there. Because I think that we have to make sure that Pakistan is a stalwart ally with us in battling this terrorist threat. With respect to nuclear weapons, you know, I don't want to speculate. What I know is this, that if we see a nuclear arms race in a region as volatile as the Middle East, everybody will be in danger. And one of my goals is to prevent nuclear proliferation generally. I think that it's important for the United States, in concert with Russia, to lead the way on this. And you know, I've mentioned this in conversations with the Russian President, Mr. Medvedev, to let him know that it is important for us to restart the conversation. About how we can start reducing our nuclear arsenals in an effective way, so that